Thank you so much. That was really interesting. I guess we can open it up for questions if anyone has any, and I will try to check the chat as well, just in case anybody would rather do it that way.
And say I'll stop the share now that I think everybody's had an opportunity to scan some QR codes.
Donna, did you have a question? Go for it. Oh,
No, sorry, I'm in and out of the lab because I have a new student in the lab.
oh,
But I
okay.
love your presentation. Thank you so much. I was mind blown by the fact that the flagellate fungi lost their flagella. I thought that was very cool. Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.
Jenny, just anyone who wants to talk,
Yeah.
just go for it.
Yeah, I'll jump in. So, Rayburn, one of the things that we often do in biology is say, like, fungi are more related to animals than plant. I guess people think fungi and plants are more closely related
Oh yeah.
than fungi and animals. And I've always said that's because you probably are the perfect person to ask because I think of that lineage being because they have flagella. And so it would be the zoosporic dicots, but is that even true?
So yeah, so people think that I mean my master's degree is in botany and plant pathology, and I'd never taken at that point a botany or plant pathology course, but it's because I studied fungi, and that's where they put fungi. You look at your pizza ordering app. Where are mushrooms? They're under vegetables. They're not under meat. They're you think of these things as fungi. Joyce Longcore I saw her give a presentation once where she talked about, okay, let's take it back to the early 1900s. Animals, vegetables, mineral. Where do fungi fit into that system? They're probably going to be thrown into vegetable. So yeah, the entire, I mean, they're episticons. We're episticons. We share that flagellated state with a common ancestor. That is really weird. But when people think of fungi, they think of things that have lost that feature, so therefore they're completely alien. I when I give a larger version of this presentation, I talk about the misconceptions of, well, fungi are other. I don't see fungi on a regular basis, therefore they're different, and I don't like it. My wife, growing up in Maine, her parents told her to regularly step on mushrooms just to smush them and help in the decomposition, that they were gross. I went to her house for the first time, and it was a sea of chanterelles. And it's like, you've been stepping on these your entire life? Go get me a bag. I just found lunch. Um, so it just there's always going to be that negative connotation. People think of poisonings. People think of drug related things. People think about zombies that are made from in various forms from both actual science zombies and perhaps some fictional zombies. So it's an uphill battle, and it's definitely one that we don't have to, that a lot of other researchers don't fight or don't have to fight. I often also point out, like, if a oncologist points out a scan on an X-ray and says, okay, there's the cancer right there, the first question isn't, can I eat it? Um, but that's really the first question that we get so many times for anything that we show. So it's a very different world, but that's part of the fun.
So there's a few comments just for you about the presentation, but no questions. But does anyone else have any questions?
I can ask a question. Sorry, I'm still hiding here. How I'm just curious, how do you keep this living collection? I assume they're living, right?
The zoospore Q fungi?
Yeah, because I mean, most of the ones we have are the larger fungi that we just keep dry, like in boxes. But I'm
Yeah.
just curious, how do you keep these other?
So for the most part, the zoospore Q fungi in the cesium collection, those are all cryopreserved, and they're still viable.
Wow.
Um, but those are very specially preserved. As for the fungal specimens that we have here at University, yeah, for the most part, those are dried down on just dried down three-dimensional in boxes. If they're on host plants, then they're probably on a sheet. There are some instances of uh, zoosporic eufungi that are also plant pathogens. In particular, John Carling worked on a genus called Syncytrium that we now recognize within the order Syncytriales. That was a favorite of his. He actually wrote an entire book on Syncytrium. And we have some Syncytrium specimens here. We haven't on plant materials, so they really just look like leaves with some spots on them. And there are resting structures there. Those aren't viable at this point, but they may still have some genetic material. And I think it would be particularly interesting to do some molecular analyses on those specimens in particular, because actually the Syncytrium phylogeny is fairly sparse. So that would be something that could add to just our general understanding of that order in particular.
Mhm. Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
guess
just put in a quick comment that this is regarding the separation because at WVU, I'm in Arts and Sciences College on a different campus from plant pathology, which is where the fungi are. And yeah, I was sort of like Pam, like floored by this whole business of having the living cultures also, and just the amount of work that it takes to maintain those. Unfortunately, we don't have ours anymore because the person who invested his life in that retired, but maybe they've been transferred someplace where I think they're hopefully getting the care they need.
Yeah. Yeah, and really the reason that we started the cesium was because of people like Joyce Longcore who didn't want to care for them anymore. Not the kindest way to say that. She just wanted them to be properly preserved somewhere else and taken care of, because Joyce, who's on this call, she was transferring, and I was present for it for years. She was transferring these things every 3 months, 100 days or so, and 500 cultures at probably the peak, every 3 months. And then you have to keep them refrigerated, and then you have to sort them all out to make sure nothing was lost. And then you put them in the refrigerator, and then you get ready, you get the tubes ready for the next transfer. So it is a hassle. And she started to cryopreserve them while I was there at the university getting my master's and PhD. And she continued to pour liquid nitrogen into, how many dewars did you have it at one point? 3 or 4 or 5? Um, and just every Monday, it's liquid nitrogen day. We got to get the liquid nitrogen and pour it in, or else the cultures are going to go bad. But still, she continued to transfer them. So now that we have them at the cesium and we uh, check them for viability, I know at least I know that when I left 2.5 years ago, they were good. And they have auto-filling freezers there. It's a completely controlled facility. Where the University of Michigan Herbarium is located. It's about 3 miles off campus, unfortunately, but it's a huge facility where they have all of their it's plant collection, insect collection, fish, amphibians, large mammals. I think they have some archaeological samples. I think the theater department stores some props out there too. It's a very large. It's larger than the entire building that I'm sitting in for just the herbarium collection room. So it's a pretty good facility, and we were very grateful that we were able to establish the cesium there. But at the moment, I'm just on the advisory board for the cesium. I'm not there on site working with it.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you so much. That was a great presentation, and I learned a lot.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. So I will, once this video is done processing at the end, I'll get it uploaded to the website like this evening. So,
Great.
okay.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for,
Yeah.
thanks for having me.
Everyone stay dry and have a good weekend.
Definitely.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks.
Bye.